Do you want to see how I built this house with my own two hands? Well, you came to the right place. So in the last video, we dug the hole, ran into a bunch of groundwater problems, dealt with them, poured the footing, stacked the ICF for the walls, poured the walls in very cold weather, craned the beam in place, which meant we were finally ready to start installing floor joists. Actually, technically, these are floor trusses. Floor joists are typically like an I-joist design. This time we decided to go with floor trusses so we could run plumbing, ventilation, electrical through the floor system much easier. We kept the plumb wall braces with our walkway up, and we took it down as we went. This way we could work off the walkway when we were installing the floor joists. Made things quite a bit easier, but man, lifting those plumb wall braces out of the basement after the fact, they're heavy, and we had tall walls, so it was no fun. But it was pretty rewarding to install the subfloor. That was a really big step. Luckily, my own personal building inspector showed up and approved of everything, so that's always good. And the next step was to start stacking the ICF for the main floor walls. But first what I did was run a glycol line through the first course of blocks so that I could heat the walls, and also any snow that fell down in there during the stacking process, I could turn on the boiler and melt it out. So we did a whole bunch of windows and doors, and for the door bucks, there was no stock on what we wanted, like the foam ones, so we had to build our own out of, I believe it was 2x10, and reinforce them our own way. And so that was a ton of work, but it worked out pretty good in the end, I'd say, considering they were such big windows. The hardest part was tying the rebar in the, like, above the windows, because there was a beam detail with a bunch of rebar, and the concrete was only a 4-inch thick wall there, so there's not a lot of room to get your hands in, and it was like below minus 20 the whole time, so you kind of had to take your glove off to get your hand in there and tie the rebar. So we had quite a few dance parties and did all kinds of crazy stuff to keep our blood flowing. There's a good example of that right there. But yeah, when it's that cold out, you got to keep the blood flowing, swing your arms around, but you also got to have some fun, and it makes the day go by a bit faster. So some good tunes, and you almost forgot that you had frostbite all over your face. The next big step for us was literally getting the steps installed. We'd been going up and down a ladder, bringing material up and down every day, and to finally have stairs just felt like such a big victory. As far as waterproofing, we went with this blue skin product, and then we did like a tar layer underneath and a tar layer over top for the bottom foot or so, just to make sure everything's sealed up good. Had lots of coffee delivered by family and friends. And in this house, we did really big window wells. We wanted to have, a really big window in the basement and get some daylight down there. So my father-in-law hopped in the excavator and helped us start cracking through the frost to dig out some of these window wells, which was a huge job. And of course, the frost was down pretty deep by then, and it had frozen, horizontally as well into the side of the excavation. So we were in frost the entire way, which was kind of terrible. The day that we poured, it was, minus 20 again, so it was another cold day, but everything went pretty well overall. No major problems. We didn't have any blowouts at all. The hardest part for this was just trying to keep the top of the concrete perfectly level. We had to keep it 1.5 inches down from the top of the block so that we could stick our ledger plate in there, and we actually ended up wet setting it. So you set the plate in there with the bolts while the concrete's wet, and you use J-bolts, and it worked out good. I think next time I'd probably just hammer drill it, honestly. Tarped everything up nice, kept it all warm, and my dad runs hot, so he took his jacket off and had his own little dance party with some pizza to celebrate. It was nice to get all the braces down, clean everything up, and just have a nice clean slate before we started framing interior walls, which was the next step. It's also good because we were able to start with the long hallway, so we could snap a long straight line across the whole house with everything out of the way, and at least we knew we were starting with a good straight line. I finally got the sump pump system dialed in. Well, kind of. It still froze about 3 or 4 more times after that, but there's not much you can do when it's that cold. Water freezes, so it is what it is. It was really nice to have my dad helping me, and my uncle actually helped me too at this stage. So it was just nice, to have the physical support, but also the moral support. You're going through a pretty big life change here doing something like this. We had sold our perfectly good house, moved into a rental house that we didn't really like, working in cold weather every day, big financial risks. So it's definitely nice to have some moral support. You end up wondering if it was the right thing to do while you're in the middle of -30 every day and everything's harder than it should be. But we got some good news, and our trusses were delivered a little bit early. So now we had extra motivation to get everything done, finish the interior walls, and get ready to crane trusses. I really enjoyed building the interior walls. It just felt like they went together so fast, and everything was straight and easy. And compared to stacking the ICF, which I also enjoyed, but it just took a lot more time before you could see a wall finished. In about 10 minutes we were able to frame an interior wall, stand it up, and move on to the next. So that was kind of nice. Unfortunately, can't all be good. My skid steer track let go, which also happened on the last house build. So I guess that's a common theme for me, buying a new set of tracks with every new house. They're really expensive for these machines, and I just want to go with Cat brand. So yeah, it wasn't cheap. But it's one of those years before we could install the trusses.
No problem.
Still, my father-in-law's a great operator, so we were able to do all of this barely picking up a shovel, which was great. We got everything sloped exactly where we needed. That patio section, we had to wait until the screw piles into the ground, the frozen ground. They basically had a big rod they shoved down in the ground that acted as like a big block heater element. They ran power through it, and it just melted a perfect hole that they could start the screw piles in. And we also had our manifold system set up a little bit better at this point. So we switched from the diesel powered boiler outside that I had to rent for like $300 a day to an electric boiler running off the temporary service, which was much more efficient, and we were able to keep the lines, footing, and the main floor wall going to make sure the concrete and everything cured above freezing temperatures. There's those new tracks I was talking about. Very expensive, but it is what it is. It's also nice to have the new tracks and extra traction. So we also had to do a front covered porch, and because we had that boiler set up already, I ran heat lines through the rear covered porch and the front covered porch to help with the concrete pouring and curing process. Those slabs in the future if I want to keep the ice off them. So it's kind of cool. It doesn't cost very much to run the PEX lines in there, and it just seems like a no-brainer to me. Made it a lot easier for us though, in this cold weather, to be able to pour the concrete, have the boiler running, and we knew that everything was gonna stay above freezing and there wouldn't be any cracking or any issues like that. It's crazy to have those tarps up and that floor heat running, just the difference it made in the temperatures just within the tarps compared to outside. It was a huge difference. And the finish turned out great too. We did a smooth finish on everything, which is, some people might think is crazy for outdoors, but we ended up sealing it with a sealer with this shark grip material in it. It's like silica sand, and those slabs aren't slippery at all now. So it got the look that my wife wanted, and very functional as well. So very happy with how it turned out. But having this done was great, because this meant the next step was pulling some forms off, and then we could install our posts and get ready to do trusses right after this. So So this was a big step that I was a little worried about at the time, but yeah, it all worked out really great. So we still kept the concrete covered even though it was heated, just to make sure everything stayed nice and toasty. And the next step was craning up trusses. So stay tuned, and that'll all be in the next video. Thanks for watching, and give me a like and a subscribe if you don't mind. Thanks.